Hi everyone. I just wanted to make a part 2 to the video that I just uploaded. So, YouTube, this video is for educational and entertainment purposes only. So, I just spoke about John, this light being that came and popped in my bedroom during the early part of July of 2022. And I had a great experience that came from that, in the sense of, just a little recap, of feeling, nothing but love vibrating through my entire body and feeling connected to everything. Everything. It just, that's the best way that I can capture that connectedness that was just running through my body. And now I have definitely done more, not only thinking, but just trying to communicate with John again. And wondering, why did this light being come to me? Why did they choose me? Who is this being from my cosmic history and my past? Are they a friend? Are they a guide? Are they an angel that took on this shape to visit me in order for me to remember what is really, that there's more than what I am seeing, in order to remember what is really going on in this matrix? A lot of things just started coming to my head. So ever since that happened in 2022, I have meditated by a candle trying to communicate and see John again. I've fallen asleep with the intention of, come visit me, I definitely want to reconnect and have a conversation, telepathically or energetically, like how it happened with the goddesses on Xylanthia. So throughout this time where all of this has happened, I still have not seen this being. And at first I thought, okay, I'm not supposed to, and this being, there's more that I have to go through before I can reconnect with him, for whatever the reason. And after experiencing a few things over this past year, maybe half a year up to now, I unfortunately no longer believe that this was an authentic light being, and that this being wants me to shift back to my highest frequency, and for this ancient being that lives in me, that remembers everything since 1492 and prior to being on this realm, to remember, not only here in the physical, but in the spiritual realm as well. I currently believe that the person that came and was staring at me when I was on the ground experiencing what felt like sleep paralysis, even though I was in the astral realm, closest thing, my mind's awake and I can see what's happening, but my body is asleep. Before returning to my body, I think this person, has access to what would be categorized as advanced technology. And once I was back in my body, took on the shape of John, of this light being. I really, unfortunately, do not believe that John is of the authentic light. I do believe by now, because of the times that I have intentionally attempted communicating with John, and then the times that I just haven't attempted communicating with any being at all, that I would have had another experience with them. I do. what makes me say that is that I have seen other spirits who I would put as guides, would fall under the category of being guides, who made themselves, their presence known to me at some point ever since my third eye became unblocked, at least in the astrals. And I still don't, remember every little thing that happens to me, but, I'm remembering parts. And the parts that, I share with y'all. But even with my third eye not being opened, I don't think he is of the authentic, I could say light, but I just don't believe he's a being that wants the gods to remember that they are gods, and for balance to return back into this realm, as well as in all of planet Kai. And yeah, that's because I definitely lost my train of thought right there, so I'm gonna try and hop back onto it. But with the spirits that have made themselves known, and they have visited me on more than one occasion, whether I have tried seeing, these are ones that really I haven't, tried communicating with again, based off of after the first experience, and I've seen them multiple times since I started experiencing stuff, more so I'll say since 2022, but the third eye being unblocked in the astrals in 2021. So I really had to sit with myself in meditation and just go to the place of, well, what if in the grand scheme of things, the reason why, one, I haven't been able to communicate with them again is because they do not have the best intention for me and my soul and this grand plan of balance returning back into this realm, as well as in the realms above and below. Two, why I reacted the way that I did. Yes, I went into fight or flight because there was an unknown presence in my bedroom. That makes sense. But at the end of that situation, I turned on the light and I could not see them anymore. That could have played out. It is a possibility, and I just started thinking about it. Well, why didn't I set it up for myself to have a conversation with this being? Because I do believe prior to coming down, when I believed in heaven, but now I'll say, Xylanthia, where I believe my soul was prior to coming down here, and wherever else I may have been in the astrals, I do believe I went back to Xylanthia. If I was on Xylanthia, and then if I was somewhere else, then going back to Xylanthia to essentially carve out what would happen to my soul down here in this body, in the physical as well as in the spiritual realm. And there's a part of me deep within that knows and remembers everything because I laid it out this way. I do believe I have that much of a say and honestly power in the astrals. I believe we all do with the soul. And for those that came down for this spiritual shift, you had the power in carving out how your life would be in order for your soul to remember what is going on, and for you to ascend, and for you to have the appropriate challenges that your soul is prepared to take on in order for your soul to grow. So I then started thinking more about that, and it's like, well, why didn't I lay it out for myself to, instead of turning on the light, have a conversation with this being, or set it up so I can communicate with them again at some point, and not just, none of that did not go down that way for a reason. And I've just reached the point that I believe why it didn't occur in that way is for my protection and for me to further go within. If I would have been able to communicate with that being earlier on, I definitely would have. It would have been easy for me to be manipulated by that being had they had that intention. Because I felt what I felt, and early on I connected it with that being. Whereas I do believe I would have felt that love regardless of that being back in my room or not. Because whatever happened in the astrals to then have me come down and be in my body, what needed to happen happened in order for me to experience that overwhelming level of love back here in the physical. So yeah, that's the recap and part 2 of the first video. And yeah, to me it was a little of a bummer, but at the same time, everything happens for a reason. And by choosing to continue to go further within, I have found more beings have come to me, I'll say, and I've remembered those experiences where I will definitely say that they are guides. And for some of these other beings, old friends. You know I've had a relationship with them prior to coming down. And the farther along we get, as each day passes, I'm getting closer to remembering. And for those that relate to this video, I know you're getting closer to remembering as well. It's inevitable. It's inevitable. So yeah, I guess I'm gonna close this video, little short recap, but by saying trust yourself. Everything that you will ever need is already within you. Trust yourself. Trust the vibrations that you pick up on from other people or beings outside of you, whether they are here in the physical or in the astrals, whether they are people that you would consider to be loved ones or people that you consider to be strangers, or that you automatically already have a dislike for, or maybe just some distance that you don't want them in your aura field. Trust yourself. Your higher self, your inner divine self, will give you every answer that you ever need in regards to whatever you question, whatever question that you may have, And that answer may not be revealed in that moment, in that day, but it absolutely won't be revealed, especially if you are making room within your body to listen to these messages and these cosmic downloads that I can only imagine are coming to you. Not even imagine, they are coming to you. It's happening to all of us on this realm. It may not be the exact same way of how these cosmic downloads and experiences are occurring, but they are happening. And my one hope from this video is that you, for the last time, 5th time, 500th time, trust yourself and be reassured that it's all going to be okay. Everything is happening the way that it needs to in order for balance to be restored to planet Kai, to your body, your physical, your astral, and in all of these realms, for all the animals, for the beings, just for balance to be restored, period. And for us to all be more connected and feel more of that loving energy amongst one another, to truly see each other as one. So now I'm going to end this video. If you've made it this far, thank you for watching, and I want to send peace, courage, protection, and divine cosmic love to every single 93 being who's on their journey of remembering their divinity and remembering who they are. See y'all in the next one.